Hey,
And I'm curious how I'm corrupt.
happening?
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. We are live.
Hello.
We're back. It's us.
Oh my gosh. Oh
It's
no.
real.
We're live. It's different now. We've had to adjust some things on OBS. So right now the cast cannot see the stream on my video feed on Discord. So I hope you'll have space to open up Twitch to see the new overlay. It's there will be some fun stuff that we have added to the overlay that will be changing as we push forward. And we have alerts now. So if anybody wants to subscribe on Twitch or follow us, the alerts should pop up on there.
And I will interrupt every serious moment of roleplay if you give me a Twitch Prime sub. Only if you give me a Twitch Prime sub.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Valentine's Day. We hope that everyone's having a very fun Tuesday so far. We didn't write any announcements, so let's
This is true.
we could just like chat for a little bit before we kind of wrangle on in. And there are like a few announcements that we'll run through very quickly. But I hope everyone's doing well. Stream days are always wild days, I think, in general, from my standpoint. But how is everyone's day going?
I got a mug from the Ceramics Guild, was having a sale, and it's really cute.
Oh,
And
actually, I love that, actually.
That's pretty cool.
so I filled up my big container with tea because this is a very small cup. And now I have tea. I also got a plant today. There were a lot of random campus sales going on.
Very
That's
fun.
my update.
I just now realized when I jumped on camera that I look like the villain from Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Do you all remember that?
Oh my
Voiced
God.
by Tim Curry.
Yeah, it's the professor guy with like the goatee and his hair's in a ponytail, and he's wearing like a
warlock.
Yes, the warlock, exactly.
I have to look it up because I don't remember.
Jinkies, a real warlock.
Um,
And that was the one with the Hex Girls.
Yeah.
that was
Oh my
the one.
God.
It
The
changed
Hex
the
Girls.
world.
His name is Ben Ravencroft.
Yes,
Mm.
correct.
It's
Ben
such a good
Ravencroft
name.
was the evil warlock. Damn, man, they really throwing curveballs out here. You just can't trust anybody anymore.
Truly.
Oh, it's from the Witch's Ghost, not Zombie Island.
Yeah.
No, Zombies Island is with the cat people,
Yeah.
For some reason, I
Spoilers,
heard Zombie
I guess.
Island.
which
Is it-
also caused some awakenings in people, I imagine.
Sure. Am I
I mean,
wrong?
that-
Wait, it was it
It was not Zombie Island, but it was
Witch's
that like
Goose.
Witch's
set
Ghost,
of
okay.
movies.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
those are like the They were animated by like a Japanese studio, right? Like, or is that a different? I know Cyber Chase is one of them.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
right.
Thanks,
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Bartleby.
my gosh,
Bartleby.
Bartleby. That's so cool. Thank you so much. Did everyone hear that?
I didn't hear it.
No, I didn't
I heard nothing. Does it
I
make a
just
fun
saw
noise?
It does
I
make a
just saw the
fun
little
noise.
thing.
Oh man, I'll have to go back and rewatch then.
Yeah, we'll have to
For-
go listen.
Yeah.
A bunch of for the singular ones, it'll bring up the Turntables logo and the quad note that we have at the beginning of
Oh,
the intro.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
I just didn't capture the one. I didn't think anyone was going to be gifting multiple subs. Thank you, Bartleby. Very
Thanks,
much-
Bartleby.
Thank you,
very
Bartleby
much.
Prime,
Much
for the
appreciated.
5 tier 1 subs to Turntables RPG. Congratulations, you did it. You've cemented yourself.
Good, Chris. Good.
Gosh,
Congratulations
this is gonna be bad.
to you for giving
thank
us.
you. We love you specifically, Bartleby Prime.
Oh my god. I'm glad
and
that this
no
is
one else.
already devolved this much. My day was good. I am taking a chemistry class at my local community college, so I did that today, and it's really fun to be surrounded by like 18-year-olds. Yay,
Yeah.
they're super fun. I don't understand Gen Z very much as students.
Oh, they're not even
Um,
Gen Z anymore, are they?
All of them, I think they are. All
Yes,
of them
Gen Z are still
wear
'Cause I'm Gen Z.
fantastic outfits.
Fair,
They're
okay.
all very stylish.
They're actually Gen Zexel.
No, don't say that.
That worst series. It's
Guys,
fine.
thank you for bringing up Yu-Gi-Oh. Now we
Skip
can turn
straight
to
to
the
Arc
real
5.
topic.
Is this a Yu-Gi-Oh thing?
Yes.
Oh, where's the
Yu-Gi-Oh!
bingo
Zexal is a-
card?
It's Exel is, yeah.
Yeah. I was not a huge fan of Zexal. That was one of the few Yu-Gi-Oh
It's-
seasons I've seen outside the original.
Zexel's probably my least favorite one.
Ooh,
I've seen most of them.
There's only just so much spiky hair you can have.
I just saw Chris's mom in chat. Dustin, I believe you had
Yes.
something for Chris's
Oh,
mom.
No,
I
don't do
do.
that.
Oh my god.
Never mind. It's not cool
Oh,
when it's
no.
mine. It's not cool when it's my mom.
flower. It's it actually is a Mother's Day flower.
I like how you're. For me, you've pixelated, so you can't even read it.
It's censored. But it's a Mother's Day flower. So there. Yeah, I realized that. I'm like not as decked out as some of you guys are. Everybody here looks beautiful
I love your
and ready
sweater,
for a
though.
date.
Yeah, we did decide to dress up. I guess if anyone didn't see Twitter announcements.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. I've got a nice fake flower and then candles. So the flower is a Mother's Day flower, and the candles are actually Christmas candles. So like I'm just here for. I should have worn my Halloween sweater, and it would have just been all over the place.
Oops, every holiday but Valentine's.
Oops. Yep. That's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, nice. I like it. Chris, how was your day?
Could always be better.
Sure.
No, no. It was fine. Valentine's Day is just a weird holiday, and I don't enjoy it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Just classwork, waking up early to do classes, and so on and so forth, and doing that whole fun rigmarole.
Sure.
Yeah, mostly looking forward to this, and that was pretty much my day.
Right on. Fun stuff. Cool. Well, I'll just run through the announcements very quickly. Some changes that we have upcoming for season 3. We will not be taking a break in between mysteries or keepers. That it has like an asterisk on it just in case like any of us need it. We will communicate it. But for the time being, we are planning on doing the back-to-back mysteries and keepers for the foreseeable future. We are changing the VOD upload schedule to Fridays rather than Thursdays, so VODs will be up on YouTube on Fridays. And then we will be having a recap video in the next few weeks or so. It's just going to take a little bit of time because full-time jobs, but that is on the way in and of itself. Trying to think, if you haven't already, please follow us on social media at TurnTables RPG. And we will be writing, we will find time to write announcements before next week's stream so that it's not just me talking, and everyone can share in the lovely, lovely glory that it is. Yeah, we're on TikTok. I don't know. That's yeah.
There's an announcement.
That's pretty much I think that's all we've got right now. Our streams will be starting at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, and 5:30 Pacific for season 3 in and of itself. So a little bit later, a little bit kind of like a little more of like an Adult Swim type of vibe for our streams.
Turntables after dark.
Honestly, I'm positive that Adult Swim is what ingrained my love of lo-fi into my brain in and of itself, because I can listen to it now and just kind of like my brain stabilizes, and I'm like, that's probably because of Adult Swim.
After dark. Now even I say the fuck word. Let's go.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Dustin, bad word speedrun any %.
Fantastic.
You know.
Other things, shout out, we haven't gotten there yet, but I will say big shout out to Eric, our producer Eric, and cast member and friend at Osteonaut for helping out with the Valentines that we've been putting up on social media.
They're so good.
for the update to the graphics for the intro, which in and of itself has also received a change. The music has also changed slightly as well. Let me know if you can pick out the difference. If you can, wow, you really are a fan. Thank you. But otherwise, it's
leave a comment if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment about all the differences.
But yeah, otherwise, I think those are all the announcements, unless anybody else has anything extra of like themselves that they want to plug, anything that they're doing right now. I will say for sure for my end, y'all should come check out the Hollowed Expanse. It's a D&D stream that I'm on at Aurelia with a 3. And we stream on Wednesdays at, pretty sure it's like 6 p.m. Central now. It's like around that time. Yes, we try, but it's a lot of fun, and we're still kind of like in the beginning stages. I play a tiefling monk who has a fushigi ball, and
gosh.
it's a lot of fun.
You actually have one.
I bought one specifically for the character because
Just for the bit.
correct.
Can you do anything with it? Can you?
I can, but you'll have to come
Give
and
us
see
a.
and find
Can we
out.
have a? Oh
Yeah,
my
please have a
god!
whole
Tell me
Oh,
again.
you mean like
demonstration.
in person?
We can't even.
Yeah,
I want to see.
I have dropped it so many times. It's even on stream. I have dropped it. There's one clip. I hope somebody clipped it where like I was messing with it and I dropped and it rolled perfectly in frame all the way to the back of all the way to
That's
the back
awesome.
of the room. It was hilarious to me, but I'm working on it. I'm not out of character. Am not a fushigi master as of yet.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. When
I think you should
become one,
quit
yeah,
your
sure.
job and just fushigi full
And
time.
just fushigi. I will let Sydney know. Yeah, that this is happening.
Then you can be a warlock.
Goodbye pension. Goodbye 401k. Goodbye
Yep.
retirement plan. Only
You
the
don't need
fushigi.
anything. Only fushigi.
Correct.
Just become a street magician, a street fushigi magician. It's fine.
With
You'll be
this-
fine.
Oh, with this hair, there's only a few ways I can go, to be honest. And
Just
that's
change your name to
probably definitely
Ravencroft?
one of them.
Yeah. Become a mad scientist.
Find your ancient ancestor that was
Yeah.
a witch's book.
Mhm.
Incorporate a group of meddling kids in there as well.
That's
Absolutely.
us, actually.
And then
Yeah.
get a
Oh, yeah.
band of weird goth
Excellent,
It's really good, Dustin.
Let's get out of here.
It is really
I-
good. Holy shit.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Turntable Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
overdub.
Let's go.
Ree.
It's just Dustin doing a Shaggy impression for every character.
Every oops, all
except
Shaggy.
for Scooby, where it's all 4 of us doing different like cut up. So it's like 15 seconds it's Masha as Scooby, and then the next 15 seconds it's Mars as Scooby, and then so on and so forth.
I just like the idea of Scooby opens his mouth and it's all of us just screaming.
At what part do Mars and Chris start pretending to be Seto Kaiba in this Scooby-Doo
Yeah,
overdub?
it's only a matter of time.
When the cards
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
out. When the
Yeah,
cards come
True.
out. Fantastic. Cool. I think that's all the announcements. So we will go ahead and launch into our intro, or into our little verbal intro. I don't have it typed out this time. I have loose notes, so we're gonna see how it goes. But Chris, Maestro, if you could please switch us over to just something a little more spooky, a little more the vibe. Dope. Okay, here we go. Hold up, a little water. Right on. Okay, so we open on a dark neighborhood within Fogwell. The streetlights are on, casting very warm shadows on the street, and their beams are full in shape as the fog, that as from the name of Fogwell, is full out on the street, encompassing not too thick, but thick enough to where cars have to drive slow, and kids are warned not to go outside for their safety. We zoom into a 2-story house with a sign on the front lawn that says, for sale, However, it has now been covered up by a sign that says sold. The camera pushes in, and we enter into a foyer littered with boxes. Some of them are open, some are closed. There's varying degrees of books and wrapped plates, wrapped glasses, just strewn about the house. We see a young man pacing in the back room on the phone. As we push in, we see he's in his mid to late 20s, on his phone, pacing like a madman. And he is just kind of looking around the room and talking on the phone and saying, listen, Mandy, I already booked it. Okay. So I'm expecting you tomorrow. It's going to be, there's not a lot of places to eat at Fogwell. So I hope you enjoy everything that I've done for us for Valentine's Day. We're going to have a candlelit dinner on a boat that I rented. We're going to take it out onto the bay and we're going to eat it out there, and it's going to be really nice. And I think we're going to have a great time. His hand fidgets, goes down to his pocket, and he pulls out a velvet box. He doesn't open it, but he just holds it in his hand, talking on the phone. I'm really excited about it. I hope you are too. Listen, really what I want to talk to you about, and before he can finish, there is a loud mechanical noise from outside coming from the backyard. Part of me wants to try and make the noise, but I'm not Matthew Mercer, so and we hear the powering on of a chainsaw, and we begin to hear the high buzzing of it cutting through wood and the crashing of branches on the ground. He says, hold up a second, Mandy, sorry. And he walks over to the blinds, pushes them down, and stares out into the darkness of his backyard. Now, as we've seen before in Fogwell, many houses, their backyards are abutting the forest line. This one is very similar. However, it does have a fence, whereas others do not. They just go straight into the forest of the Pacific Northwest area that Fogwell resides in. He stares outside and he squints, and he can barely make out the figure of these branches falling from a high height and falling onto the lawn below. He's like, my neighbor's going crazy. It's like 10:30 p.m. Why is he doing this right now? He runs over to the back door, launches it open, and he says, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Just calm down. It's fine. It's not hurting anybody. And he closes the door and goes back to the phone. He's like, yeah, it's the neighbor, I'm trying to be nice. The realtor told me that he lost his wife like a couple months ago, and but he's been nitpicking everything for the past few days since we started moving in, and oh man, he's just a fucking irritable crab, but he's my neighbor now. I don't know, it's strange. Where was I? The candlelit dinner so meet me by the docks. I managed to get us a captain to take us out on the boat. You could probably wear something really nice. I think, maybe go ahead and go get that manicure you've been talking about. I think that'd be a really good idea. And just, I think we're going to have a really good time. As soon as he says time, there's a bam, bam, bam on the front door. And the camera kind of pulls out, and we see the silhouette of the young man kind of leaning out of the door frame down the hallway leading to the front door. And he says, sorry, Mandy, I'm gonna have to call you back. Okay. I think he's here. And he ends the call, puts the phone in his pocket, and walks slowly to the front door. Impatiently, another bam, 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 just slams into the door, and he kind of takes a step back. He calls out, I'm coming, calm down. He walks over, and his hand slowly reaches out to the doorknob before wrapping his hands around it. And before he can even open the door, we hear the sound of a chainsaw ripping through wood and glass and metal, and the scream of this young man as we push outward towards the street. This dense fog illuminating the neighborhood, the slightly pink moon above, and a mountain lone in the distance as the sounds of metal against bone against flesh, the screaming of a young man pierces through the night. Welcome to Monster of the Week. Excellent. I hope everyone enjoyed the intro. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of to redo a little bit of it and stuff like that. So, cool. We return back to Fogwell. It is Valentine's Day. A couple of things of note for the sake of the audience knowing that time has passed. Pretty much around the same pace as IRL.
We all have beards now,
yeah.
Even Philip, don't ask.
We've all gone to find ourselves in the woods. Fig already did that, but they went deeper into the woods, deeper into earth. So things of note for those. We open with Fogwell in the middle of the day, around noon. However, it's dark. For the past few months, those cloudy days that plague the Pacific Northwest have somewhat stayed and grown ever darker. It's a strange Valentine's Day because it's almost like a Valentine's Day without flowers, except plastic ones. The sun, somewhat scarce. That plants die. People's homes are, they're throwing away plants that they just cannot, unless they have those lights, that can give them that artificial sunlight or whatever. I'm trying to set the scene, and I'm coming up with solutions as to how I wouldn't let my plants die. But it's a dreary scene. The mood within Fogwell is very much different than what we have seen in the past. There are active patrol cars in the streets. more than we've seen before. The ruins of the town hall, which for those of you who were with us for the finale know that caught on fire, have yet to be cleared away or rebuilt. They stand in the center of the square, a monument to the tenuous peace that Fogwell finds itself in for the time being. The vibe is off. The vibe's off, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's extremely cloudy. Damages to the town have not been fixed. There's a more active police presence seen, and everyone's just very much tense, especially since the homecoming incident that happened the past September. What that is, we'll get to when it comes up in character. But just letting y'all know, something happened, and it was not good. So, with that in mind, it's around noon. I would love to talk to the players and find out what we're doing, what's going on character-wise. I think one of my big questions leaving season 2, at the end of season 2, Dustin, you let us know that Cole was kind of going off on a journey of sorts. Would you mind opening it up with telling us where Cole is right now and what's he been doing? What is he doing currently right now?
I actually think that we were meant to discuss if we wanted him to be already back or not at the beginning of this, but I don't think we ever fully agreed on that, right?
Do you want... I have an idea if you'd like to...
Please.
Yeah. I figured he took the van with him, correct?
Correct.
Why don't we just have him driving back into town?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Just the sound of familiar old roads underneath the tires of Cole Van Helsing's Cole Van Helsing, as he returns home yet again. It's not the first time that he's gone out on some sort of journey. He went to school for a time before, where he actually encountered the previous group of adventurers, just kind of in the background as he was. But the events of the previous season left Cole feeling like he was not contributing to the group as he wanted to. He felt like he was a burden more often than he wasn't. And he understood that despite his desires to be this great Van Helsing character, perhaps his skills lie elsewhere. And he wanted to help people, but he wanted to be able to do it on his own, to prove to himself, if no one else, that he did still have some skills. So during this time away, Cole has actually began his own investigation YouTube channel, we'll go ahead and say, and a podcast. And he has gone to different places around the U.S., looking into different cryptid sightings or hauntings or strange mysteries that are hard to explain. And during this time, he has really started devoting himself to this sort of thing, to learning to edit the videos, to focusing on investigations, and toward helping people in that way. So as he returns, he is returning someone who has worked on his investigation skills, and he wants to return to his friends these 6 months later and hopefully be able to contribute more.
Fantastic. Are you driving back to your apartment, or is there somewhere else that you would stop first? What's the plan there?
I think that he's just sort of slowly driving through the town and um, looking at the different things that reminds him of the adventures from the previous season. You know, driving by Miss Merrill's shop or looking at the destruction of the town hall, that sort of thing, on his way back to his apartment.
Cool. Good. We'll say, as you are passing by Miss Merrill's shop, you do see there's a small black cat that's been sitting kind of like on the little the small open door that she has for her shop, signaling that she's open. And you see that the cat jumps through the door, and that we will use to transition over to Fig. Fig, would you like to tell us what Fig has been, or Masha, would you like to tell us what Fig has been up to these past couple of months, and what they're doing currently?
Yeah, so Fig realized, Masha realized also, that Fig was kind of just like living temporarily at the outskirts of the woods, with not particularly great transportation because she's a woman who doesn't like to stay in one place for very long. But with the events of everything that happened, she sought out a more permanent residence within Fogwell in the form of getting closer to our favorite antique shop owner, Miss Merrill. And so Fig now lives with her, which means that Little Man and whatever the name of Miss Merrill's cat is are now besties. And Fig and Miss Merrill are close, and Fig sleeps in like a real bed. Kind of weird.
Yeah. You do watch as the little black cat kind of like hops in. We'll say that like Miss Merrill was kind of like sitting behind the counter, and maybe y'all are sharing a cup of tea. As the little cat kind of like hops in, and jumps up to the counter and then jumps onto Miss Merrill's lap and kind of like snuggles up to her. Miss Merrill kind of like strokes the cat, and takes a sip of her tea, and she looks at you and she says, "Something tells me that things are gonna get a little more lively around here." And she takes a little puff of her long cigarette.
I can't imagine it getting more lively than it already has been. What do you mean?
She kind of gives you a toothy grin, and you can see like the little gap in between her teeth, as she kind of like grins at you. And she kind of like takes her little cigar and points it to the door. And as she does so, you turn to look, and you can see Cole's van passing through like the small little window through the door.
Well, I'll be damned. Prodigal son returns. Is he driving away too fast for me to like try to catch him?
It's a great question, Dustin.
How fast can Fig move? I mean, this is a
Fig grabs her
Fig-
skateboard.
Fig is
and
not.
Back to the
Fig is
Future.
not
Rides the back of the car.
She is not a run after a car kind of gal.
I
She can-
imagine he's going about 25 miles an hour. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
It's
Fig
a
could
15.
find him. It's a-
Yeah, I think Fig is gonna turn back to her cup of tea and keep drinking it, but like, there's a small smile on her face that she can't hide.
Hell yeah. We will transition there over to Ren. So Mars, if you'd like to set the scene of where Ren is currently, and tell us a little bit about what Ren's been up to for the past couple of months, Chris, we're gonna get to you, buddy. I promise. I just
No,
but-
actually don't. Just let me sit here for a bit.
yeah.
Just
This is
simmer.
just here to live react.
I'm here to make thumbnails.
Yeah,
Good.
literally.
Oh,
but-
I like that one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was a good one. That's
Can
a
I have
good
one more?
thumbnail.
I need one more. I need a good one.
Hey!
Mm.
Ooh,
Perfect,
That's
thank
so
you.
good.
Mars, take it away.
Ren has not found better lodging, though to be fair, they weren't living in the woods before. They are still at the motel, but the room they're in has slightly changed. There is, I think, a knock at the door. If it's good with you, Sel, which Ren opens to see Arthur at the other end of the doorway.
Yeah. I think Arthur has been having a hell of a time. If I remember correctly, what we agreed upon, Mars, was that the room that Ren and Arthur had been staying together in had to be fumigated. So the manager moved them to a room where there is only one bed.
There is only one bed, correct?
Correct.
My brain said that, and then by the time I turned it over to you, I realized I forgot to say it out loud.
Yes, and then, however, I think right now, if I remember correctly, Arthur has like his bags, like kind of like a very tattered kind of like canvas kind of like duffel, where he carries most of his stuff, and it's kind of like slung over his shoulder, and he's kind of looking at the room, and he kind of looks at Ren and says, "So it all got sorted?"
Yep. Supposedly, and at the other end of the room, I think is a bag with Ren's stuff.
Right, so I guess we should go ahead and head that way.
That would make sense. I'll grab my stuff and let's head that way.
So, dear viewers, for those of you who have been enjoying yourselves in chat, you watch as Ren and Arthur grab their bags and head over to the room which has which had like a little sign that said, fumigation, do not enter. They take off the sign, open the door, and see that it is completely clean. And Arthur kind of like chuckles and looks over at Ren and says, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but might actually miss Philip." And this is where I reveal to the audience that Arthur has been staying with Philip at Cole's apartment for the time in which the room was being fumigated.
And there's only one bed. No. That's true because Philip doesn't sleep. He just likes to watch.
Oh, okay. I think that's worse than the alternative.
So, the two step into the room, and Arthur kind of sets down his duffel on his old bed. Mars, what does Ren do?
I think Ren sets his duffel down on his bed and then goes to sit on Arthur's bed and says, "It's nice to have you back."
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've seen each other, but it's nice to And Ren sort of like takes a minute, realizes like that they're not being very smooth, and just kind of puts their head in their hands for a minute.
I think Arthur kind of just like leans a little bit to the side so that they're kind of like leaning into Ren's shoulder. And he's gonna say, "No, I get what you mean. I missed you, and I'm glad we're back."
Me too.
And we'll go ahead and pull away from the scene. The two sitting on the bed together, kind of leaning into one another, enjoying each other's company. As we pull back to, and we cut to Philip. Chris, would you like to tell us? I love the music change. He's sitting at an organ. In his underground lair, and he's just like,
Philip has moved into the abandoned church.
Oh my god.
Philip has dyed his hair black and is now wearing a neck choker, and has all his what's left of his fingernails painted black.
Chris,
someone
please,
call Patrick real quick.
let us know. Also, our amazing art was created by Patrick Costa at PCInc_. It's on the overlay. Please let us know what Philip has been up to.
Oh, it's right above me.
Yeah, right. What Philip has been up to for the past couple of months, and what he's doing right now.
Philip, in his complete and utter despair of his bestest best buddy leaving him with a note, Philip sort of goes into a mindset of not working, but just doing other things to distract himself. And so I think, when Arthur is spending the night, I think Philip tries to hang out, but I don't know. That just seems like a fun sitcom. I'm sorry. That's
Sure.
just, just the night in his corpse. But anyway, so I think Arthur would notice if when he's spending the night with Philip, that Philip is mostly gone during the day. He finds that Philip is going into the woods very frequently and doing his own dark deeds. Not dark deeds as like he's committing crimes.
Sure.
But well, I don't know actually. But anyway, that's something to explore later. Philip goes into the woods to sort of discover more and train his own powers.
Yeah.
As he discovers more about himself, to just sort of distract himself from the loss of Cole. And so he's sort of been in and out a lot. He's somewhat distanced from the group, though. Everyone sees him from now and then, and he tries to keep up his perky nature, but there's no one knows exactly what he's learned in the woods.
Sure.
But for that, he keeps to himself. Every now and then he'll come home with like a brought back to life rabbit, and he's like, "Arthur, can you take care of him? I've called him Arthur Jr." Only for the rabbit to die in 24 hours, and Philip's like, "No, Arthur Jr."
And then he brings him back to life.
The cycle never stops. Anyway,
so is Philip in the woods right now?
Yes, I think just not wanting to be alone in the apartment where he can smell coal.
Sure.
He goes off into the woods and floats on. Very much, I imagine like sort of like Disney princess, like waving to the birds as singing. Animals see him and run away in fear sometimes.
Sure. No, I love that. I love that. That's very good. I would say, yeah, more so within the woods, the fog is much denser here, as we've kind of seen in the past. Like it leaks out into the town, but very dense within the woods itself. Does Philip have a specific mission in mind, or is he just kind of traveling
I
for the
think-
sake of getting his mind off of things.
I think there's an aspect of him that's like, I'm gonna find this freaking Fogwell at some point, because I feel like this might provide some insight into what's going on with this place, and maybe that'll help either take my mind off of Cole, or just maybe that'll inform more about my feelings towards himself.
Sure.
And so I think finding the Fogwell is a goal, but on top of that, it's more of also just something to distract himself, and sort of every now and then he'll find something dead and bring it back to life to sort of train his power.
Sure. Yeah. No, I got you. I'll definitely say, while you are in the woods, you do come across a figure that I believe Cole probably would have told you about, and that is Kernunos, the woodland god. I think more than likely it's like somewhat kind of like two ships passing in the night, in the sense that you are floating in one direction and his hulking silhouette just kind of like passes the other one. Do you acknowledge him at all, or would you just kind of stay within your own head, you know?
I think Philip would certainly I don't know. I feel like Philip is certainly like, "Hello, are you my new best buddy? What's going on?"
Sure.
You're big and scary, but maybe that's kind of your thing. I don't know.
You see that he is
You've got a skull on
actively-
your head. I've got a skull in my head.
You are
It's-
right. There is a lot of cross section here. So
We have so much in common. Isn't this kind of crazy? It's Valentine's Day, you know. Anyway,
whereas Philip is kind of like this kind of like floating skeleton, Kernunos like stands at about, I want to say about 15 feet tall. His lower half being this huge destrier warhorse, the top half being just kind of like very very similar to the Minotaur, in the sense that it's like it is humanoid with two arms, but it's heavily furred. A mane begins on the top shoulders and comes up to his head, but you cannot see his face because it has a huge elk skull and the antlers kind of spreading out. You do see, however, he is actively bleeding from wounds kind of like on his chest and his abdomen. And as you call out to him, I think he kind of turns to you and he says, "Well met, hunter.
I don't know if I'd really describe myself as a hunter, but I guess.
You are an ally of the young Van Helsing, are you not?"
I mean, sure. I mean, you know, when you know, it's sort of, you know, we're sort of. I guess we've been seeing other people, but it's sort of a, you know, we try to keep in touch. I don't.
He kind of like pauses for a moment. His hulking figure just kind of standing there, and he kind of like looks at you and he says, "You are not mortal."
No, yeah, I mean, I don't really like to think about it. No.
You are more of the supernatural.
Philip touches his skull face and is like, "I think so. I think you might be onto something there. You're very insightful. You're bleeding, by the way. I didn't know if you needed help with that. I just felt like I should mention it. Felt weird not to."
My wounds will heal. Do you think yours will?
I think Philip's like glowing pupils sort of like dilate weird, like they just sort of shrink.
shrink,
As he sort of looks up at this much larger, intimidating creature and sort of, looks down for a bit and then looks back up and is like, "And what would you know about my wounds?"
There is a pain that is carried by those who have walked this earth for longer than mortal can. It's a weight that seeps into your bones, into your soul, into the way that you see the world. I see it within you. And you who ally yourself with mortals, whom will become dust in the blink of an eye. It is a pain that you choose.
I can promise you I have not chosen this.
Be that as it may, I tell you this now because something is coming. I've sensed it for some time. Maybe you have as well. But being as you are not mortal, these woods and my protection are open to you whenever you may. The woods are not safe. They are not, yet they can be home to those who wish it.
I certainly consider the darker crooks and crannies of these woods to be much kinder to me than being left alone to my own thought.
Everyone has their place, and yours could be here. It could also be with your allies. But know this, and he kind of straightens up a bit, and you can see like doing so, his muscles just like kind of involuntary flex, and like some blood kind of slowly begins to spill out anew as he kind of like shifts his body once more. You may have sanctuary here, being who you are, but we of these woods can no longer ignore the violence that mortal can now bring to us. If any step into these woods with violence or malice in their heart, it will be met in kind. Know this and tell your allies.
Ooh. You are very intimidating. You got a whole creepy vibe going on, but I'm not, I love playing little telephone, so I'll keep it up. I'll keep it going, best buddy.
As you kind of finish that, he kind of like nods to you, and in the distance, you can hear a wolf kind of like howl just by itself. Do you turn in that direction?
I just hear a wolf.
Yeah, like it seems like kind of like eerily close by.
I'm like, oh no, pet doggy! What's going on, best buddy? There's so many things in these woods. It's almost like animals live here. That's crazy.
Did you turn in that direction?
Sure.
As you turn back, Nunos is still standing there.
Oh my gosh! I almost expected you to be gone.
He kind of like is silent for a moment and says, "You thought I would disappear, didn't you?"
I did. I really did. I thought it was gonna be like a cool Batman thing. I love Batman. Anyway.
Yes.
You're tall and brooding too. Anyway.
Beware the man bat. And then he kind of turns.
Oh no!
And like disappears into the fog.
Okay, well, I guess I should find my way out. And he sort of looks around and is like, I really would have hoped I'd known my way around these places at this point. And then he starts floating off in a direction.
Cool. Excellent. I think we will take that moment. Does anybody else want to roleplay anything or do anything before we push onward, or can we kind of begin congregating players and places?
I think we can begin congregation.
Hell yeah. So I'll say, I think where it would be best for everyone to congregate, would be wherever Cole ends up actually stopping. So Cole, let me ask you: would you go back to the apartment? Would you go to the library? Would you go where is Cole like finally stopping, putting the van in park, stepping out of the van, so on and so forth?
Definitely the apartment.
Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and say that Cole is in the apartment. Philip, since we just left you, I would love to know. I would love to see this interaction of Philip returning to the apartment and seeing the van and seeing that Cole has returned.
I think so. Philip emerges from the woods behind the apartment. As he floats around, he sees the Cole Van Helsing's Cole Van Helsing parked out in front, and his jaw sort of falls open as he enters in his powerful T pose and rises into the air and he says, the call of friendship has summoned me once more. Into the depths I go to meet my comrades in battle. As he floats through and smashes through the window into Cole's apartment. And goes, Mr. Monday, what's going on?
And Cole doesn't even like he doesn't flinch when it happens. It's almost like this has happened before. And so he's hey Philip.
Philip coughs up shards of glass and goes to hug you deeply. His bony structure digging into you as his head spins around 360 in excitement.
Ow. Your ribs
are... you've aged so much. You've changed so deeply. Inside and out, I can smell it. Oh my goodness, the things you've seen. It's like when you leave your dog for a bit and you see and the dog can smell that you've been with other dogs and you just feel betrayed.
Jesus.
Okay. I didn't really picture you as a dog. But
you're the Shaggy to my Scooby-Doo.
Oh, so you found my Scooby-Doo collection.
It was so insightful.
That's...
I started to think maybe I was just a corrupt capitalist in a costume.
No, Philip, I don't think you could be a corrupt capitalist if you tried.
I don't know what money is.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And he kind of looks around the apartment for a second. He goes, "It's clean."
Yeah, every time I would bring in a new best buddy, Arthur would come in and have to take it away. I was getting it was one of those things where he really has a good head on his shoulders.
Arthur?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. He needed something. There's only one bed. Time to come in. And me and Arthur spend a lot of time together.
Wait, you and Arthur slept in only one bed?
There was something about that. I don't sleep. I mostly just watched him.
Yeah, I know.
I float over. It's like, I'll just float over the bed and stare at you, completely parallel to the bed as I look down upon you. Just to make sure you are sleeping soundly, for I'm envious of that ability.
Yeah, I guess getting used to that kind of helped with... Because that happened a couple of times on the trip, but they weren't quite as friendly as you are. Not the best.
Yes, just like a dog, I am very watchful over the night.
Okay.
Do you know this? I've discovered this thing called furries.
Okay,
Anyway, with that, real fast, Mars, do you want to turn your camera off and back on real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
So hopefully it'll come back
I'll
on.
plug into the Ethernet because I realized I was not plugged into that.
Fair enough.
So maybe that'll improve it.
We are not waiting on that, Eric. Nope, we are not.
Correct.
Waiting on what?
Nothing.
Okay.
We'll go ahead. I do we'll go ahead and cut the scene there between the two buddies, and we'll transition over to Fig while the camera kind of loads. So Fig, y'all are kind of getting to the end of the tea time in general. It's been a slow day at the shop. Not that many people have come in. However, there is one last visitor before you all kind of end. And up until this point, I think Miss Merrill has finished her tea. She has set down her cup and is just kind of like, stroking her little cat, who I think for the time being, I believe that I named it something, but for the life of me, I can't remember. So we'll call it the cat Ash, because it is a black cat. So Ash.
I don't know if we ever named it.
I think we established that there's like taxidermied cats that are like, they all look the same. And so like this is like Ash the 7th or something along those lines.
Snowball 2.
Correct. And so Ash is just kind of like purring on her lap, and she's been somewhat quiet for the past minute or two. The door opens, the bell dings. And in walks in Sheriff Lester. For those of you who do not remember Sheriff Lester, he is a man in his late 50s. He's got kind of like slick hair, gray hair slicked back, and just crazy mutton chops that are still somewhat like red and tinged and things of that nature. He walks in, takes off his hat, and nods to the two of you and says, "Ladies, Ms. Merrill, I have something I need to speak to you about." And Miss Merrill kind of like, she pauses for a moment and she says, "Whatever you have to say to me, you can say in front of Fig. It's okay." And Sheriff Lester kind of like, he adjusts his belt a little bit, kind of like gives Fig the once over, and then just kind of nods a little bit, and he says, "You should know we're trying to keep it quiet for the time being, but it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out soon." And Miss Merrill just kind of like waves her cigar for him to continue, and he says, "That young buck, his name, I think his name was Terry. The young kid who just bought the house off of Sullivan. Well, it seems like Frank killed him." And this kind of like makes Merrill kind of like stop for a moment, and she says, What do you mean Frank killed him? The man was 87. And Sheriff Lester kind of like ducks his head and he says, "The man took a chainsaw to the boy. It's not pretty. And there's only a certain amount of time that I can keep this quiet because there's neighbors. And you know that they are going to find out pretty soon enough." Miss Merrill kind of takes a deep puff of her cigar, and she kind of just shakes her head and she says, "Let them. They're going to find out sooner or later. But what I need is eyes on the scene." And Sheriff Lester's just kind of like, he's like, I've already sent a couple units to look in. And she kind of holds up her hand and she says, "No. I mean, we need eyes." And she kind of like she's been staring kind of like in the middle between the two of you, but then she turns her head over to Fig, and she says, "I need their eyes on the scene." And Sheriff Lester kind of like sniffs. He knows that Fig is associated with Cole, and I think he doesn't necessarily hold a lot of not necessarily respect, but it's more of just kind of like he doesn't hold a lot to Cole's friends or like Cole's actions within the town in general, but he will kind of nod and look over at Fig and say, "The sooner we can do this, the sooner we can come up with something for before all hell breaks loose."
I mean, there's no better time like the present.
He kind of nods and he moves over and he opens the door for Fig to walk through. Miss Merrill kind of calls out at this moment and she says, "Lester, you didn't say what happened to Frank." And Lester kind of, his face goes a little quiet and he looks over at Merrill and he's like, "Honestly, I couldn't even tell you what happened to Frank. But he's not with us anymore." And Miss Miller just kind of sits back, takes a big drag of her cigar, and just kind of nods and lets the smoke kind of like, permeate through the room. Fig, are you walking out the door?
As long as I've got little man with me, yeah.
Okay, yeah, little man's always going to be with you when you need him. So we'll go ahead and say, do you take this time to communicate with any of the other hunters that they should congregate at this address that you're heading to, Sheriff Lester, or do you want to go by yourself?
I can't remember if we decided that Fig has a phone or not.
Fair. You could use the phone in the shop if you wanted to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I think that there's this moment where Fig like puts her big bag on her shoulders and taps for little man to climb up and sit there, and then like halfway to the door, and then turns back around and says, "Well, I guess I should probably contact them first. It's easier that way." And so she'll go over to the phone that's at the shop and then type in Cole's number that she has memorized.
It's still a landline. It's got it's a landline. The phone is plastic and it's got a cord that you have to like pull up the headset to call, and like the analog numbers to push in. It is a remnant of the 90s for sure. But it's like, dusty and worn down and all that kind of stuff. So
speaking of dusty,
there you go.
I call Cole.
Hello?
Oh, it is mighty nice to hear your voice, Cole.
Oh, hi, Fig. I thought Miss Merrill was going to call and yell at me again.
How often does that happen?
I mean, not as much lately, but for a while there it happened,
Well, listen, I have a lot of questions for you, namely where you've been for the last 6 months and why I wasn't the first on your contact when you came back. But there's been an event that seems to have happened in town, and I need your help investigating it. And I need everyone's help, actually. It's already been cleared with the sheriff somehow. Meet me here, and I will give the address that was given to me.
Yeah. Cole, you would know where Sullivan Street is. So it's easy for you to plot out that route.
All right, I'll grab my gear and I guess head that way. Does Finn and Arthur, are they still in the same place, or did they move, or?
Would Fig know
Yeah.
where Ren and Arthur would be? Okay.
You would know that today's the day that the fumigation ends at the motel and they're going back to the room.
I'll give the hotel a call.
Oh,
Make sure
okay.
that Ren and Arthur can meet us as well. But you should probably pick them up.
Yeah, then should I pick you up? Are you walking, or do you have a car now? Did you get your license?
God.
Make these
Fig does
decisions
not-
now, Masha.
No, Fig does not have a license. Doesn't stop her from driving every so often.
Nice.
What happened to Miss Merrill's car? We didn't break it, did we?
I'm going to say that y'all brought it back. There's a lot of stuff from the finale that we're gonna hash out this mystery.
We'll figure it out as
trust
it
me,
goes.
because I've been thinking about it. No, put it down.
What is that? Is that a silica packet?
Yes,
Put it
the
down.
silica packet.
Oh, I thought he was about to do
I
drugs.
thought I was
and
getting yelled
like,
at for a while.
No, sorry, no, not you.
I put my fake phone down. I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
I was texting during class.
You know what? Just pick me up. That's fine.
All right, I'll wait. Where? Oh, right, Miss Merrill's shop. Okay.
Cool.
Click.
Click.
Pick up phone. Call hotel. Call hotel, specifically the room that Ren and Arthur are staying in. That's a thing you can do, right?
Sure. Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah. You can call
Yes.
specific rooms at a
Yes,
hotel.
and, so I guess Mars, if you don't mind me,
yeah.
I think what will happen is Arthur received a I've spoken with Eric about this. Eric, thank you for talking with me about this. He has been in communication with Birdie since the finale, just kind of like talking back and forth, helping maneuver through the memories that he kind of regained at the end of season 2. However, I don't think Birdie has a phone. I think Birdie knows how to use a phone, but I'm not sure if Birdie has a personal phone. So what ends up happening is right before this call goes through and the phone rings, there's a very light tapping at the door, and Arthur kind of like immediately perks up and he's like, I'll be right back. And he walks over to the door, opens it, and you see that there is a crow sitting in front of the door, and there is a piece of parchment tied to one of its legs.
Oh my god.
And so Arthur just kind of like looks at you and he's like, I'll be a quick minute. And he walks outside and kind of like gently picks up the crow and like takes out the parchment and kind of like unravels it to read this message from Birdie. The door closes as the crow's kind of like hopping onto his shoulder, and the phone rings for Ren to answer.
Ren picks up the phone.
Sorry, it warms Masha's cold little heart to picture Arthur gingerly picking up a crow by its whole body and then like just hold bird gentle like hamburger. Anyway. Ran?
Hi, I waved, but you couldn't see me.
Right, alright. Well, good to know that it's really you. Listen, Cole is back, and he will be picking you up shortly. There's been an event somewhere in town, and I'll give y'all as much detail as I know on the way. But yeah, it looks like we're back in action.
Beep beep.
All right. Arthur just got a call, crow. He got a bird from Birdie, so I don't know if he'll be there. He'll come with, but I'll let him know. And yeah, see you soon.
That man, I just like Fig is just muttering to herself as she hangs up the phone. I don't understand. Why does nobody ever send me birds with messages on them? That's
It's
so
like-
fascinating.
I don't understand how the internet works. I just
It's amazing that she can call anybody at all.
It's at this point that oh, how do I want to do? Yeah, okay. I don't want. I think Arthur kind of comes back in. He has the parchment kind of unraveled, Ren, and he's kind of like, I need to answer this, but I can't. I need silence. I need to be by myself. Who was on the phone?
It was Fig. Cole's back in town, and there's been some fuck shit, I guess. I don't know. Cole's coming to pick me up, and we're gonna go investigate. It'll give you some quiet. Is everything okay? And Ren kind of puts his hand on Arthur's shoulder.
It's strange. And he kind of like holds up the parchment, and you can see that it's written in a language that Ren would not understand per se, but maybe kind of would seem. It's something you wouldn't be able to read, but you could tell is English derivative, if that makes sense. So like there's like you can see the symbols for A's, and you can see the symbols for like Y's and things of that nature, but like everything else seems like very twisted and like weird. And I think that Arthur kind of like shakes his head, and he's like, sorry, I forgot you can't read this gobbledygook. It's gonna take me some time to process what this says. But if I can tear myself away and I can help in some way, shape, or form, come find me. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to go with you.
Yeah, just same goes for you if you need anything. Like, call Cole, or I don't know, I'm sure I'll be reachable somehow.
Yeah. Tell Cole I say welcome back. I missed him too. And I think here in the motel room, I think Arthur's just gonna kind of like reach out and put his hand over Ren's hand on his shoulder, and just kind of like squeeze it reassuringly, and then turn and walk away from the motel towards kind of like the woods in general. He does have his sword at his hip, but I think he's just going off for some solitude. Plus, I'm the keeper. So this is me saying that Arthur is going to be taking a pass at this one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and say that Fig has finished calling and is now getting into the sheriff's patrol cruiser. Is there anything that you want to ask the sheriff while you're on the drive over to Sullivan, or no, Marsha?
Did Fig know either of these men?
Probably not, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on like how much more integrated you feel Fig would be in the Fogwell community these past couple of months.
I don't think she made it out to like suburbs 80-year-old men category of community.
Sure.
Not quite. Sheriff, did Frank have a history of violence?
Um, you see, the sheriff is kind of like turning right, and he thinks for a moment, and he says, "Well, Frank always had a bit of a temper, but you know, it was just one of those things that he kept in check pretty much all the time. I think in all the years I knew Frank, I only ever saw him get violent twice, and you know, once it was at his wedding, and it was because somebody came up and you know, they objected to the marriage. So, and you can see that he kind of like has a small, look, kind of melancholy, small smile on his face, remembering this event, before it kind of slips away, and he shakes his head and he says, "But I mean, that was always, it always came down to fisticuffs. You know, what happened last night, it's something else entirely."
And I take it his wife is not in the picture anymore. Otherwise, you'd have mentioned her.
No. Cheryl died about 8 months ago.
Has anybody been checking up on Frank in that time period since his wife's passing?
Well, his boy and their family, they were here for, you know, maybe a max a month after Cheryl died, but they went back home. I think they live in Georgia or something like that, but it's pretty far away.
And I understand that no one in this city is really in the business of trying to protect Miss Merrill's feelings, but what kind of scene are we going to be walking into here? You said that you had no idea what happened to Frank. What is he? What happened?
Well, it's easy enough to know what happens up to Frank's time of death. He leaves his home at around 10:32 p.m. Monday night, and he takes his chainsaw, runs it through the door of the younger fella, the young buck. He catches the boy on his shoulder, tears his way through the door. Mind you, Frank is old, but he tears through the door with the chainsaw. The boy slips, falls backwards. He's screaming, bleeding profusely. At that point, it's just fish in a barrel for Frank, and he just tears the boy apart with the chainsaw. 10:36 p.m. Frank's time of death. His wounds, they're not... You'd think it would be the chainsaw, but I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen wounds like that, and there's no signs of a serrated blade cutting through the flesh from what, you know, our medical professionals can tell. And you see, at this point, he kind of stops the car, and you're like maybe like a block away from the house, and you can see that there is who you would recognize as Officer Nancy is in a tracksuit, and they are like running down the sidewalk. And as they pass by the sheriff's cruiser, they kind of like give the sheriff a nod, and you see them kind of like bring up their sleeve and talk into it. And the sheriff nods and kind of like, he takes off his hat and he says, we've got to be quick. So, let's go. And he kind of like unlocks the car. And we'll go ahead and jump slightly backward in time to Cole and Philip picking up Ren and that drive over here, and then we will reunite at the house. So Cole and Philip, you have pulled up to the motel, and Ren, are you waiting outside? Were you waiting inside? What's the word?
Yeah, I think Ren's got the door open but they're waiting inside. They've so they can see outside. I think he's got his sword on his hip, and he's got like a backpack with trail mix and water. I don't know. I just like the idea of him having like a little backpack of stuff. And just waiting for Cole and Philip to arrive.
Cool. Cole and Philip, y'all pull up, and
Beep beep.
y'all tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Red.
Yeah, can I have mentioned at some point on my phone call that we're meant to be sneaky?
Oh, sure.
Like,
Metagaming, you say?
no, but I mean, they mentioned when we were still in the shop that it was like we have to be kind of discretionary
Yeah.
about this.
Philip starts honking the horn.
That is
Oh
fair.
fuck!
No, I mean,
Philip honks louder.
yeah, you
Cole's
could.
van is not
For-
very
for when-
discreet.
For you know.
When they actually approach the neighborhood, I got
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
So Cole, you would know that information of like, just be as discreet as possible, approaching the house. Are y'all now in the van together?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello, Ren. How are you?
Hey.
Hi. Arthur also says hi. He's not gonna be able to make it. He got
Well, I miss him
weird
dearly.
mail.
Thanks for the follow.
He has
automation.
he uses such interesting soap in the shower.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Actually, do I want to know? Just anyway. Hi, Cole. Welcome back.
Yeah. Did Never mind. Hi, thanks. Yeah, good to be back. Sorry, you might have to move some gear around a little bit to get a good spot. It's fine. Just kick the bag around. They're durable.
Ren kind of moves some large equipment off a seat.
Philip finds a stale big Ziti's fry and eats it. The dark crevices of the car seat, such a mystery and wonder to me.
Now I'm imagining like Philip kind of like crammed underneath the seat, like the space underneath the seat, just kind of like that's where he's riding in the car.
He doesn't even have to. That's just where he chose to go.
Yeah. So like if you do drop like a fry down there, a skeletal hand's just kind of like or like if you drop like a straw, the skeletal hand comes back up and like holds it up for you so that you can grab it. Fun. So we'll go ahead and say that y'all maneuver. Cole, how are you? How are you being discreet about going up to the house and things of that nature?
I mean, we've talked about Cole's van, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So you're just gonna drive up straight up to the house?
Do you want to? Are we
anything-
driving off to the side and abandoning the vehicle?
Yeah.
I mean,
Y'all are driving by, jumping out, letting the car just careen uncontrolled.
Explodes into a cliff. They all think we're dead. This season's all about stealth. Everyone thinks we're dead.
Nice. Good. This is good precedent.
that's it. That's exactly what happens. There. All right.
No.
All right. He said yes and
No. No. I couldn't think of the opposite of and.
No, but
No, because Buck still continues it forward.
Yeah, I was thinking or, but that also is just sort of building off of things.
Sure.
No,
If anybody in
stop.
chat's
There
like
we
an
go.
English major.
No, then.
No, shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay, fine. All right.
No, that's good. That's actually good. No, yeah, the opposite of yes and is no, shut the fuck up. Because if you're in an improv group and somebody sets up something, you're like, no, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
just improv. Hello, Mr. Randall. No, shut the fuck up.
Whew. I'm uncomfortable with the energy we brought to the studio today. Yeah, I guess if we're going to be sneaky about it, parking somewhere a little bit far off and walking the rest of the way is probably for the best, even if we do have a talking skull on our side.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, I'll say as y'all park like a block away and walk up, Cole, you recognize Officer Nancy kind of like in their tracksuit, and she kind of like does a double take at you as you kind of like make your way over to the house.
Heyo.
She does not wave at you. Are y'all waving at her?
Is this the person we locked in a basement?
Officer Nancy? I think so.
I think we did lock Officer Nancy in the basement. Yeah.
Correct.
And we were like, no, it wasn't us. No, it's fine. It was the door. The door jammed.
The door jammed.
She kind of like, she gets like wide-eyed as if any of you like wave at her, and she just immediately does like a 90-degree turn and just runs in the other direction.
Just full on sprints. And she seems like a nice lady.
Y'all get up to the house, and you see that Sheriff Lester is kind of standing at the side gate of the house leading into the backyard, and he just like quickly like gestures for y'all to come through.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
As y'all pass through, he kind of like he puts a hand on Cole's shoulder and closes the gate, and he says, "Listen, Cole, I have no fucking clue where you've been for the past couple months. We need to talk about the fucking town hall." And he kind of like he pauses for a moment, and he's like, he seems conflicted, and he's like, "We can talk later, but just know we need to talk about that." And because if I remember correctly, Cole was held in detention as a suspect to the fire, and then Birdie came in and just kind of birdied him out of prison. And then there was
I
never
think he had like official documents. Like, it's all good. I'm official.
Okay. But
You mean Gary Oldman showed up?
correct.
Exactly.
Gary Oldman showed up.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh
what
my
actually
god!"
happens is as soon as he asks a question about that, Cole just tells him, he just tells him everything. The doppelganger, just like it's like he doesn't care. Like he's just like, yeah, no, this is what happened. This is it.
A vein appears on Sheriff Lester's
That's
temple.
a talking tree. It was wild.
And he kind of like says, "You know, you could really write one of those YA novels that my nieces love. But I really need all of you inside before somebody sees." And so he kind of like escorts you all inside. We're gonna go ahead and say that, Fig, you are already inside, and you were kind of like the first on the scene. You were taken in through the back door of the house. Sheriff Lester kind of explained that like the front door and the foyer is essentially a crime scene, so there is no just like walking in through the front door. So you kind of take the back door. And yes, Cole is a better YA novel than any turf in existence, absolutely. And so y'all come in through the back door and see Fig kind of staring at the scene. So Fig, what you see, it's Grizzly. The young man, Terry, who's in his kind of like mid to late 20s, his right arm is on the stairs, leading up to the second floor. Half of his torso is sitting at the foot of the stairs. The other half is sitting maybe like 3 feet away. They're still connected via some lines of muscle and sinew, but the guts have been spilt out all over the floor. There is just like, it's the foyer's drenched in red, and the like you can see spots where the officer stepped in and kind of like accidentally stepped. You can see like footprints of the officers like in the blood in the doorway because they didn't realize it was like all over the place. Like I said, the bottom half of his torso's 3 feet away, still somewhat connected by like pieces of sinew and muscle. His legs are kind of like, it's weird. It's like the bottom half of his right leg is sitting, it's almost kind of like resting gently on the wall, while the rest of his leg and his pelvic area and like his other leg are just kind of like crashed into the side of the stairs. And it's very odd, the scene in and of itself. And then I will also say, his head has been covered by a blanket, but it is also separated from the body. It's like being covered by like a tarp and things of that nature, but it is not a great scene. The body of Frank is kind of like in the sitting room adjacent to the foyer, laid out flat, and there's a tarp covering the entire thing. So that is the scene before you. What's Fig doing?
I think I turn to Sheriff Lester and I say, I mean, it sounds to me like you've got Terry's death figured out and it's Frank's that you're concerned about, so are you removing the tarp or am I? Because I'd really rather not touch any of this, personally.
Sheriff Lester kind of nods, and I'll say at this point you've noticed that your fellow hunters have stepped into the house as well. Sheriff Lester kind of like leads you through like a safe path through the viscera that's kind of like been carved out by the investigation team into the sitting room. And you can see in this room, there are more kind of like moving boxes. There is like, there's one of those kind of like, what's it called? The foldable chairs that you would take to like a sporting event. It's kind of like unfolded in the corner of the room. And there's like a cooler next to it. You get the feeling that this guy, whatever he was like eating dinner, he was like sitting down in this chair and like popping open the cooler and things of that nature.
Oh my god, mood. When you first move somewhere, god, that's so real.
Don't have any furniture. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, fucking sit on the floor and like, or I guess your fold-out chair.
And so Sheriff Lester kind of like kneels down and he grabs the edge of the tarp and he looks up at you and he says, "Happy Valentine's Day." And he kind of like, he rips off the tarp. And you see the body of an 87-year-old man, like, you know, in his late 80s. Except the head is missing. And the chest cavity has been torn open. The other strange thing that you notice just offhand with your eyesight is that there is no blood.
That's never good. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen one of these before. You don't want it to be like that.
So Sheriff Lester kind of like takes a step back and he says, "Yeah."
Rat.
"We've scoured every inch of this house and we have not found this man's head."
I suspect that you will never find the head. The heart?
Um, strangely enough, the heart is present inside the chest cavity.
Oh,
How
okay.
strange.
It's just open. Very cool. I would like to get up close to the body and investigate it further.
Fantastic. Let's roll that
Please.
first roll of season
Let's go,
3.
baby.
Here it goes.
I wanted it to be me. All right.
Investigate a mystery 2d6 plus sharp.
Hell yeah, baby. I don't have a dice tray anymore, so onto the table, which means onto the floor, probably. I rolled a 6 and a 2, which is 8, but I have +3 sharp, so that's 11.
Hell yeah. On a 10 plus, hold 2. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
Oh boy. I think I'd go for what happened here. I'm going to, now that I know that there's no blood nearby, or, in here, I'm gonna get up really close and examine this chest wound and where the head is missing from the body and look at it,
Yeah.
with my eyes, with my very sharp eyes.
Yes, absolutely. So what happened here is specifically pertaining to the body of Frank, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like Terry's is pretty clear cut in general. I
mean, unless it's not, but
maybe one of the other hunters can check and see. What you find on the chest cavity specifically. So it's very strange because I think so there is a chest cavity cannot be ripped open without breaking the sternum, right? Or like without like kind of like dealing with the ribs that connect, like that kind of like house the chest cavity in and of itself. And so what you find as you kind of like look at the two flaps of the chest that have been kind of like torn to either side is that the ribs, the sternum kind of like isn't broken per se. It looks as though the ribs to like one side were kind of like broken through, and that what is what allowed them to kind of be spread apart. Now with your inspection, you do find like the shards of bone kind of like sitting nestled, where the spine is, as they have fell into the body because gravity. And now where the flesh, because like flesh is still there, is like cut. From what you can tell, the instrument that was used to break the bones and to cut this skin in order for it to be peeled apart, it would have been very narrow and skinny, extraordinarily strong and sharp. There's like, your mind kind of runs through several different options of like, it could have been like, the cuts could have been a scalpel, but a scalpel can't break bone, so, but you can tell that the fracture wounds, like the stress fractures on the bones and the way that the skin is torn, like there was a precision to this chest opening.
Yummy questions to be asking. Does the head seem to have been removed in a similarly clean way, as if with a sharp blade?
It's one of those things where it's like, it seems more as though, so you take a look at the neck, and what I will say is, yeah, I would say it's there's similar marks on the edges of the skin, on like the severed part of the skin, that look very similar to the lines that are on the body in and of itself. I would say with that picture, you could tell it is, if there was a blade, it was a small blade, because of the way that there's kind of like, there's segments in which the flesh is cut, and then a new segment starts. You know, kind of like when you're cutting with scissors, but you don't do the clean slice, and it's just kind of like a little choppy. It's a little.
God,
bit
you
like
have
that.
shitty scissors.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
mood. Also, God, this is just so relatable. This episode. My favorite tiny scissors with me. Look at them. I love them. Bought them at a Ren fair. You know how it is. Cool. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking for a long time. I don't know if we want to jump to one of the other hunters before I ask a second question.
Sure.
Alternatively, I can just be saying all of these findings out loud at my friends who I haven't seen in a while, including Cole, who I haven't seen in 6 months, and I'm just like, well, this is definitely not chainsaw caused. This was cut by some kind of narrow, sharp blade, I guess, but I find it's hard to believe that any of this is bloodless. This is very odd.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think those normally bleed.
And there's like no blood anywhere, like none, like zero.
Like there is blood nearby because of Terry, but
Yes.
within the area
Yep.
of Frank, there is no blood.
I'll just ask my second question. Going through my mind and animals that I know exist, what kind of creature is it? Do I have a suspicion of what kind of creature could have caused this?
So, more than likely, what I will say is when you think of something that has been leached of its blood, the immediate thought might be to go to a vampire or something along those lines. There are no puncture wounds on the neck or on any of like kind of like the big artery spots of the body, right? So kind of reverse engineering that from a vampire back, what I will say is, what kind of creature is it?
It's not a vampire.
It is some form of parasitic organism, in the sense that it is like leeching the life out of these people. You know, it's like, it's not again, this is a precise kill. It looks as though there was motive because of the precision, and because of the nature of the way that the body is bloodless. It would make sense that this is like something that is, you know, something that takes, which is very apt for a parasite in general. Yeah, they just stuck a straw in and
Good. Despite the bloodlessness of this corpse, I don't think it was a vampire specifically, but some kind of other drinking, laugh-sucking critter. I think at this point, Fig like takes a deep breath and steps back and looks at the entire scene and goes, "Oh my goodness, I think I need a moment." And she just like takes a step back.
Sure. Yeah. For my fellow hunters, what are y'all doing during this time? Y'all would have noticed y'all are there to see the body.
We've just been standing watching Fig, like, seems dead.
Yep.
Is there anything that y'all want to do? Any moves that are beginning of mystery moves that you'd like to kind of take advantage for this scene?
Oh, goodness.
I have beginning of mystery moves. I've just now remembered that. Let me see if it makes sense to use them here.
Sure.
Well, while you do that, I have a move.
Oh.
So Cole has switched playbooks. He's no longer the mundane. He is the searcher.
Ooh.
And I happen to have. Technically, we've already got the answer to this, but I just want to show off the move.
Yeah.
I have the move Occam's Broadsword.
He
when
pulls
you-
out.
What?
When you first encounter something strange, you may ask the keeper what sort of thing it is. They will tell you if it or the cause is natural, an unnatural creature, a weird phenomenon, or a person. You gain +1 forward dealing with it.
It is.
Damn, that's like, imagine you as a keeper, like, oh, this is gonna be a phenomenon mystery, like I'm gonna like make it a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, fuck you, Occam's broadsword.
Give me those options again, Dusty.
Yeah, absolutely. It is natural, an unnatural creature, a weird phenomenon, or a person. And I mean, the thing is, though, is that it could technically be a combination of these. You only need to tell me one of them.
That's no fun, though. I'll tell you, it is a combination of weird phenomena and unnatural creature.
Okay.
And there's no roll for that?
Listen, this is a
It just
wild
is.
move.
Yeah.
And the thing
That's
is,
insane.
this is not a
I-
beginning of mystery. It is when you first encounter something strange.
Wow.
It's the exile is a third party
This is
one,
not
isn't
the
it?
exile. This is the searcher.
Oh, the searcher. Sorry, Arthur is the exile.
Correct.
Yeah.
This isn't spoilers. It was in the intro.
Yeah. You're good.
Ooh,
Got it.
guys, okay, we're gonna take a quick break, have a talk with Masha about this. Ooh.
We come back. Eric is sitting in Mosh's
No.
house, like in the scene.
Dude, I fucking wish. I would love for you guys to
That'd
come
be a
visit me in
party.
California.
I'd be offended I
Saul
wasn't
got to visit
invited.
me in California. It
It
was,
was
fun.
a hell of a good time. I will say, if anybody wants to do one more thing before we take a quick 10-minute break, I feel like now would definitely be the time, if that's cool with y'all.
Yeah. I've got two beginning of mystery moves that I've always sort of coupled together. I have Destiny's Plaything, which is at the beginning of each mystery roll plus weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. On a 10+, the keeper will reveal a useful detail. On a 7 to 9, you get a vague hint. On a miss, something bad is going to happen to you. I also have Boss from Beyond at the beginning of each mystery roll plus weird. On a 10+, your superiors ask you to do something simple. On a 7 to 9, they ask you to do something complicated or difficult. In either case, you get to ask them one of the questions from the investigate a mystery move right now. On a miss, you are required to do something terrible. If you do not accomplish what they've ordered, you cannot use this move again until you've made up for your failure.
Let's do. Yeah, you let me know. Which one do you want to use?
I the way we did it most of the time in season 1 was I sort of rolled them together, and then I think I sort of started using Boss from Beyond more than Destiny's Plaything, but we sort of combined them into the one move, because one of them is from my playbook and the other one I took from another playbook. So
yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and they're both weird though, right?
yeah, they're both weird.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me weird to just kind of like get the gauge for both of these.
Okay. Oh, boxcars.
Holy shit! Okay, dope.
Oh, snap.
Okay, so tell me. So again, we're combining two moves here, so there's a lot to kind of
Yeah.
to cover, but essentially for Destiny's Plaything, the 10+ is I reveal something about your immediate future that is helpful. Right?
Yep.
And then for Boss from the Beyond, you get to ask a question from Investigative Mystery, and then I ask you to do something easy.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Tell me what this looks like. How is Ren contacting Ma'at?
I think Ren goes into this room full of gore and just like immediately closes their eyes like this is too much right now.
Sure.
I do not see it.
And I think that's when sort of Ma like pops up almost, and they've appeared in a variety of different ways, but I think this time it's sort of just a voice in Ren's head. I'm about to sneeze.
You're good. Yes, I think so you close your eyes, and I think immediately as you close your eyes you feel your like consciousness just pulled somewhat like further out, and you are kind of like sitting within that liminal space, again in darkness, but you can feel the presence of kind of like of Ma'at. It's kind of weird because it's one of those things where like both within your mind and on your body, all your hair kind of like stands up on end. It's kind of like one of those moments where it's just kind of like goosebumps, and like the hair just kind of like rises all over your body, and also like within your mind as you stand in the presence of order. And I think they in this specific iteration, I think they come to you and it's kind of like an echoing multitude of voices just kind of like overlapping over one another, and they just kind of go, do not look away, do not look away. These are the people you are to protect.
And Bren sort of shakes their head because I think even though this has sort of become something they're like somewhat used to, it still kind of takes them by surprise every time. And they are going to ask what is being concealed here?
Agents of chaos are at work. They hunt and farm. You will not find them without close inspection.
And Ren nods their head, and says, "Do you have any other insight for me?"
You have already seen the signs.
And I think they wait for a minute to see if there's any more information on that. And if there's not, they're going to open their eyes.
There isn't. But as you open your eyes, you can see through the window, like the way the front door works is like there is like a frosted window, and then there's like kind of like very skinny frosted windows to either side of it, just to let in some light into the foyer and things of that nature. As you look out and you see through the frosted window, you see out into the front lawn, and you see the realtor sign. Not like in definition, but you passed it as you were going into the backyard. And you can see it sitting out in the front lawn.
Right.
And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead, unless I don't want to leave Chris behind. Chris, is there anything pressing that you want to
No, it's
to
fine. I can
fill?
wait till after break.
Right on. Yeah, I appreciate you. So we'll go ahead and take our 10-minute break, everyone. Feel free to get some water, walk around, grab some snacks. We will come back and have our snack check. First snack check of season 3.
I was gonna say first snack check of 2023 too.
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Better
so-
make it extra long.
literally. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And we'll see you after the break. Scene switcher works still. Current OBS had me terrified. Hello everyone. Thank you, Demo, for rating us. Appreciate it so much. Sorry that it happened. The one moment that we were away from the actual screen. But
literally, we're here for 4 hours, and you decided the 10 minutes. The 10 minutes we were not here.
But thank you so much for rating, for all of it, for everyone who stuck around. Thank you. For those who didn't, still thank you for bumping our views for tonight. Much appreciated. Where we last left off. Oh well, scratch that. I am so sorry. I almost forgot an integral part of our streams in general, which is our snack check.
I feel like we need snack checks. I need snack checks specific music.
Sure. Like maybe very maybe game showy or something on those lines. I don't know. I had orange slices because I needed something fast and something to pep me up a little bit. And plus, it's like 9:45 my time, so it's like way past dinner time. I just needed something in my belly, so that was me.
Orange slices sound so fucking good.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
The only fruit I can get at the dining hall is frozen, and I'm like thawed out blueberries just don't hit.
No, thawed. I feel like the only frozen fruits that are good once they've thawed are like strawberries maintain, mango is pretty good, pineapple's pretty good. Blueberries, they get fucking wacky. Their structural integrity does not hold up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of the strawberries and put them in the snack check channel just so you regret your words.
Oh no.
I haven't bothered to try them. They look they look like they were freeze-dried, frozen, then rehydrated and thawed. They've been through the ringer.
There should be one, maximum 2 steps.
Yeah.
You know?
They look like mush. Anyway.
Oh, lordy. Maybe they'd be good for jam, which you can definitely make in a dorm. Anyway.
Yeah. I have milk and cookies I stole from the dining hall.
Nice.
That's choice.
Yeah. It was the left of my milk, though, which means I have to either go buy more milk or steal some from the dining hall.
Theft is always the correct option.
You're right. The problem
in a video game. Any authorities watching this in a video game?
Yeah.
For legal reasons, what I said was a joke. Thank you.
We're playing a tabletop.
A joke about in the video game.
If there are any government agents watching, please subscribe.
Hi, welcome to the stream.
Hi. What are you eating for snack check right now?
Dusty,
the FBI are the ultimate lurkers.
Literally.
Seriously, come on, get some channel engagement.
My snack for snack check, because Dustin's actively chewing.
Sure.
I don't think Chris has gone yet. Whole dinner, and I'm not fucking kidding, because just steak dinner. Steak,
I thought you said
sauteed
Hulk
onions,
something, and I was like,
Hulk steak
superhero.
dinner. Whole cloth is what I said, but
Okay.
I slur my speech a lot. Steak, onions, bread, broccoli, and then some burrata with like a balsamic glaze on top. And mustard for the steak, obviously. Very important to have mustard for your steak.
I've never done that before.
Yeah, you like doop doop doop. I drop my piece.
Wait, so you dip the steak into the mustard? I'm assuming this is like not like Hanes
You got mustard in
or
my
anything of
steak.
nature.
No. No, it's like good, like stone ground schmancy fancy.
Okay, gotcha.
Like you can get
Dijon?
horseradish on steak too.
Right.
I think this is a stout. It's like a mustard made with stout. But I can't
Hey, we
remember what
support
kind of
our
mustard
short
it is.
kings. Am I right?
Says the 6'5".
Yeah.
of the cast.
Is the tallest man among us, truly.
Among Us, us.
Among Us. I love
Vance.
Among Us.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Quick story. My chemistry class, we sign in on a little piece of paper, and the instructor wants us to not put our initials, but to make a little drawing. And one of my classmates drew a little amogus, And the box is like this big. He drew like the tiniest Amogus. Anyway, the kids will be all right. Chris, what do you have for snack check?
I have a little bit of popcorn, but I'm probably not gonna eat much of it.
Fair enough.
Because I'll be doing so many talking.
Like a specific flavor of popcorn, like white cheddar or something like that?
No,
or just...
no.
Okay.
No, shut the fuck up. Guys, we're announcing Turntables merch. It's just a t-shirt that says no, shut the fuck up. You have your classic, actual play catchphrases. You have your Matt Mercer. How do you want to do this?
Right.
And then you have Turntables RPG. No, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the opposite of yes and. Dusty. Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've heard this one.
The jerky.
Yes,
It never changed.
It's a new flavor, Cajun.
I'd like to think it's the same bag you've always eaten.
Well, no,
same
that
jerky.
one's yellow. This one's purple, as you can see. It's a different
No,
color.
I'm saying you've been eating one long piece of jerky for the past 5 years.
Yeah, that's for the past 5 years that we've known each other.
Yes,
Um,
it's been a good 5 years.
well, it's been a good 5 years. It's not been 5 years. So
Okay, cool. I was like, I've just been coming to
It's
terms
only
with
been
time.
4.5.
But yeah, it's meaty jerky. It's just good.
It's been
I actually had steak for lunch today. I had a steak dinner for lunch.
Hell
so-
yeah.
hell yeah,
Mm.
nice.
We love a steak.
Real fast on the Discord, Bartleby's flexing hard.
Oh, god damn
Bartleby's
it,
already
Bartleby.
always
Pictures of from their last California adventure, a sushi boat, plate with mushroom fried rice, gailan, and oyster sauce. And then the final one is avocado toast with eggs over medium and green chilies.
Oh, God, I want avocado toast.
Ooh,
I'm not even gonna
But-
look.
You'll never be able to afford a house, Chris. You can't eat avocado toast.
You're so right. I eat too much avocado toast and buy too much Starbucks.
If y'all
God,
would
that
also
sushi looks so good.
literally, if y'all would like to see what we're looking at and also feel the envy, consider joining our Discord channel, and we've got the snack check channel within the Discord. It's a lot of fun.
Do I have this wrong? Or is the bot gone?
Oh God,
think
is the
it's
bot gone? I don't
Socials
think-
with an S.
Oh, socials?
No, I was wrong.
Damn it.
Now I'm confused.
God, what was that thing that happened when the guy woke up and his like NFTs were stolen? It was like monkey gone, bot's gone. I don't know. My brain works in really just
They've
terrible
stolen
ways.
my apes or something.
Yeah, ape's gone. God, I gotta find it. Hold on.
Fuck that guy. Anyway.
Oh, Mars, did you just put the link?
I just copied the link.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I guess
It was
Join that.
that was the one thing I did not test before the stream was the bot commands. I guess OBS is just
He retired.
freaking out. It's fine. We'll have that fixed by next stream. But yes.
Can
feel
I
free
read
to
you
follow-
the can I read the tweet?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I've been hacked. All my apes gone.
Oh
This
yeah.
just so please help me.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm done being an interrupting person.
What was that zoo that was having problems with like animals escaping earlier this year?
Yeah.
I think they lost and then found 2 monkeys. That was their reaction as well.
Wasn't there a nearby, or I think it was maybe here in Texas or somewhere, like a panther got loose or something along those lines.
That's not an animal you want to lose.
Correct. But it was a whole thing where like they shut down the zoo and like they had like waves of people going through, like, you know, staffers going through to try and find this panther. Yeah, it was wild stuff.
I just found out recently. Do you know how they differentiate between big cats and small cats? Like
I
as
mean,
far
it's
as
by
official-
size.
Yeah, not just from size.
It's not just from size. It's can they roar?
Oh, yeah.
Are
Oh.
cheetahs considered small cats then?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
Because
Does it mean
they-
I can have one as a pet?
Because cheetahs
don't know
can
if that
purr,
is-
but they cannot roar.
Mhm.
I would not recommend keeping them as a pet. No.
Shout out to cheetahs.
Our short
Stay
kings,
faithful, boys and girls.
the short kings of the animal kingdom.
Oh gosh.
Anywho, let's jump back to the murder scene. Why don't we? So for those of you who are joining us after our break, our hunters have arrived at a murder scene where it is clear that one of the victims was killed and dismembered by a chainsaw, while the other one, an elderly man who wielded the chainsaw, had their chest cavity ripped open by a precise instrument and is missing their head. Also, no blood. And so that's where we're at. The last hunter to kind of like have some time with the crime scene and kind of figure out and be able to use their moves is our very own Philip. So, Chris, I will pass it off to you. What is Philip doing? Is there anything that you'd like to...
just taking in all the information that's been given to me, by feeding off of my fellow players' success, as I do in my throughout the stream, I feel as though, Saul, you have properly avoided my signature move by removing the murderer's head, because I feel like I could get more information out of him if he had a head.
Sure.
And I don't know exactly how much information I could get out of the head of the guy who was living here and just got murdered, because it feels like he was sort of
just a victim.
I mean, honestly, I mean, truly, I mean, I feel like I could piece together. Guy got cut up by a chainsaw. I don't know if he's gonna be like, oh, I saw I saw this monster in his full form.
Sure.
Which I guess I could if I thought about it, but I don't think going through the rigmarole of committing crimes against God is worth bringing this head back to life. Also, because I think we're in a house full of police officers.
Well, it's just Sheriff Lester with you right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I can kill him if I want. Cool. I think my first inclination is to use my once per mystery move, which is of course cast the bones.
Sure.
I think Philip is going to be like, what do I specifically want to do here? We'll just do, okay, well, we're gonna do a general. I'm going to go into the room with Frank's body decapitated. Right. I'm going to be like, so Philip, in his frog hoodie and overalls, walks into the room and motions to the police officer. Is like, I need my room to do my good work. So,
yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
You probably want to. I mean, I just got to do some little digging on my own, you know.
I mean, he's pauses for a moment, looks at the rest of y'all, and kind of looks back at you and says, I can't let you disturb the crime scene.
Okay, well, what if you close your eyes and plug your ears and count to 10?
Are you gonna move something in the crime scene?
No, I'm not gonna move anything. I mean, maybe, but I don't. That's not the plan right now.
Just do your thing. I've been doing this job for a long time. I don't think there's anything any of y'all could really do to spook me.
Okay. Philip goes over, unzips his frog hoodie, not to reveal his face, and coughs up bones onto the corpse of Frank.
What the fuck?
Cool.
I will be clipping that. Thank you. That was so good. Just comedic timing, 11 out of 10.
Gosh. So Philip goes and goes, and as he coughs up his fortune-telling bones, and I'm going to be rolling Cast the Bones, which is a once per mystery. I may perform some kind of divination, and so I'm rolling a sharp. Okay, cool. I got a 5 and a 1. which is a plus my 1 sharp is a 7.
Okay.
So I hold 1. Oh wait, no, I don't. Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I don't have a plus 1 sharp. I have a 0 sharp, so it's a miss.
Okay, dope. Go ahead and mark a point of experience.
Cool. Epic.
What happens when you miss with Cast the Bones?
On a miss, you get some information, but it's not what you want to hear.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. Watch the bones form a picture on the ground, and it's Cole having a great time with like other people across the country. It's like the information you learn is that Cole had a great time without you on his trip. Okay. So it's not information that you need right now. Ooh, okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know how I like
So the bones kind of like you spit them out and you watch as they rattle on the floor for a little bit of time and they begin kind of like shifting around, very similarly to kind of like pharaoh fluid, and they create this picture for you, right? And it is it's like a circle, right? A little hat on top of the circle, like a little triangle,
that.
and then an inverted triangle into the circle.
Okay, so it's like it's a circle with a triangle in it, and then a triangle on top of it.
Correct. Imagine a circle with like a diamond bisecting it, or a diamond being bisected by a circle.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the circle, triangle on top, and then triangle inside.
All right. Philip.
It gives you no information other than that.
Cool, epic. Philip looks down and is just sort of like takes a mental snapshot. Maybe he like pulls out like a dirty piece of note paper and just draws it real quick and then puts it back in his overall pockets. And he goes, "Well, it's so good for my training," and then he starts eating the bones.
Mary, mother of God. And Lester kind of looks at all the rest of you. He's like, "Is that normal?"
Well, normal for Philip or normal because like if you do that, it's probably a problem. Like if you start throwing up bones, you should probably see a doctor. But for Philip, it's fine.
He kind of he looks at you, Cole, specifically, and he's like, "I knew no good could come from them Dungeons and Dragons." And he kind of takes a right turn and walks out of the sitting room.
Oh, now he leaves.
Oh, well.
So,
Cool. Well, that was sort of a build up in my brain to nothing. Okay, who wants me to bring to life the corpse in the other room?
Anybody?
Telling silence.
Did he
Okay,
just
I'm not-
from the other room? Lester's gonna be like, "What did he just say?"
Let's nothing. It's in a video game. In a video game. Anyway.
So you make your way over to the head.
I guess. Oh goodness. Unless Cole, are you trying to stop me?
You got something?
I don't know how I feel about that
Mm-hmm.
because we're supposed to be like keeping things under wraps, and
Don't worry, I can do it on the down low.
Okay, but I feel like bringing a dead head back to life is probably the opposite of being.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's already one missing head. No one will care if we take another one, am I right?
And I think they will care.
I don't think they'll notice.
I could ask.
Plus, it'll be a new best buddy. I mean, think about that one, didn't you? Let's not ask. I just feel like, better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Excellent. Okay, so you make your way over to the head. Is any like nobody's?
I mean, if
stopping
someone really
Philip.
wants to say no, don't do it, I won't do it.
Sure.
I'm just personally trying to think of
Any
any other options because I don't think that Rin has told us about the connection with the for cell side.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't think Ren's told you yet. I think Ren is still trying to like, because normally Ma is very cryptic, and so I think the idea of Ma being like, "You've already seen the signs," and then like Ren opening their eyes and being like, "There's a sign," is like that seems too
Hey,
too obvious.
who rolled boxcars?
I know that Ren rolled boxcars. Ren does not know
Fair
they
enough.
rolled boxcars.
Fair enough. Sorry, I just saw chat and Eric's fucking comment, and so I'm thinking of fucking Philip being like, so no head.
Oh my god, and he throws the bones. Very good. Yeah, I like it.
Shit.
And they like shatter and
Yeah.
okay. Anyway. Here's the thing that we can do that's not the defacing a corpse yet.
Yeah.
You know,
It's on the to-do list.
it's on the it's you know, it's like mid priority right now.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm talking like that. Now that Fig has taken a step back from Frank's body, can she look for a trail that some kind of creature may have?
Ooh. Yes, that's a move, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have the move tracking.
Go ahead and roll what you need to roll.
Yes. So for anybody who hasn't seen this stuff before, my playbook is the tracker. I track things. I'm good at it, in theory. And I have a move called Tracker. When I find a spot where a monster has been, I can look for a trail, and I roll plus sharp. And I roll 5 and a 2, which is 7, plus my 3 sharp is a 10. On a 10 plus, I hold 3. And I can spend my hold anytime while looking for this creature. Anytime. Okay. Follow its trail some distance. Determine how long ago it was here. Identify how many there are. Figure out how fast it was moving. Get an idea of how big it is. While looking for this trail, what does it look like? Like, what do I see that signifies some kind of critter has been here anyway?
What you find is not... It seems... How do I put this? So there's no body, or there's no blood from the body, right?
Right.
So there's no blood trail. However, as you are kind of like scanning the room in and of itself, you see the tiniest like droplets of liquid, maybe like a foot away from the body. You crouch down, you take a look at it, and you look up, but there's no signs of like leakage. There's no signs of water leaking or anything of that nature. However, the droplets just kind of like sit there, or like the droplet has kind of like dried out, but like there is leftover residue and things of that nature. Kind of like it's easy to spot for your eyes, like dried liquid in general. Your eyes scan, and sure enough, another kind of like foot away, you see another spot of just this unknown clear substance. It looks like, water has dried, but considering that the body didn't have any blood, that there's no water that it could have come from, or nothing nearby that could have created this kind of singular droplet, you follow that, and it leads to the window of the sitting room. And there you can kind of see that it's like a bay window, right? So it's got three sets. Each one has a latch where you can kind of like push it up and open it. The one in the center, the latch is somewhat more ajar than the rest, which are completely locked in. And I will say that there is a significant trail of this unknown substance leading from the body to the window, which now you can see is somewhat ajar. With that in mind, your specific question of like, what does it look like, or what is this creature like in general? As you kind of push aside, or well, there's no curtains, it's a brand new house. You do see that there is the faint markings of a shoe print on the windowsill of the window. So like the window was opened up, somebody stepped onto the sill, stepped through the house. But like the print itself is broken up by the window that is now closed. So to answer your question, humanoid.
Well, Fig is distracted by this, so she can't pay attention to what Philip is doing.
Sure.
Oh, the dark thoughts. This is just gonna be. It's just gonna be sad if I bring this head back to life, and Philip's like, "So what happened?" He's like, "Chainsaw got me," and he's like, ain't that just the ways?"
Ain't that just the way?
Is there so when to clarify for specifically like bringing the body back, like you need, or like you're bringing the soul back to the head so that the head can speak to you, or are you just kind of like, you know, looking into the after echoes of what the head saw, you know?
Yeah. So it depends on how good or bad I roll.
Sure.
If I roll the best, then it is sort of like I am either returning the soul to the head, or some remnants of the soul are still fresh in the body, as it's in order for me to like gain information from it, like ask simple questions.
Sure.
And then if it was a full body, I'd be able to make it do menial tasks, but weirdly enough, I don't usually get to do that part.
Sure. Weirdly enough.
And if and if I don't, on a 7 to 9, it can only do menial tasks. It can't answer my questions, and on a miss, it is revived but is evil.
Oh, great.
Which is weirdly enough has also never happened. I've never fucked up that bad.
Okay. So if nobody is stopping Philip, would Philip be doing this?
I'm really tempted to, but I also feel like I might come across. Well, this isn't a once per mystery thing. I can do this as much as I want until I kill myself.
Yeah.
Because it just does one harm to me. So I can, might as well, I guess. If no one's gonna stop me.
The thing is, if no one says anything to Cole, he's out of leads. Because it's everybody else finding leads. Cole's just here. He's like, yeah, that's a creature, man. That's.
Well, actually, first, I did have an idea. Cole, do you still have your internet buddies?
I do still have my internet buddies.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to see if anyone on your Discord server, join the TurnTables RPG Discord server today, if any of your Discord buddies are familiar with the symbol, and he pulls out the paper he just drew that he gained from the bones.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I can check with my net friends, which is the carryover skill that I brought with Cole.
Cool.
Epic. I want to know if any of your friends know what I want to know. Anyway, so let's get to knowing.
Well, we'll find out. He's gonna pull out his phone and just start messaging on Discord. You ready for this?
Sure.
Saul?
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to work with what I have.
I not quite boxcars, but I rolled an 11. So plus my charm. Cole is a little less charming than when he left. So it's just a +1 charm. He's a lot weirder though. We'll get to that later. And so that is, it's still 10+. They're available and helpful. They can fix something, break a code, hack a computer, or get you some special information. So we'll see if they can recognize whatever that is, or have some kind of clue what that is, I guess.
Because I guess also information just to give Saul options
Sure.
to not give us information, is they could inform us that we don't know what the hell this is, which informs
is
us on the lack
information.
of information.
Sure.
Right.
So let's see here. I'm gonna pull from chat. Let's do Wardamation replies to Cole's kind of message in the Discord chat and says, that is definitely the logo for the Chattanooga Ultimate Frisbee Club.
Those vile bastards.
And then like several other kind of people come on and they're like, no, why would that Cole is cool. Why would he want, like the logo for an Ultimate Frisbee Club, all that kind of stuff.
Actually, Cole probably has his own Discord now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, for sure.
He has a community,
absolutely.
yeah.
Let's see here. Card Games on Zambonis replies and says, I feel like I saw that on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as like one of the alchemical symbols, but I don't know which one. And then finally, Democracy replies and says, could be a reflection.
A reflection?
That's what NetFriends gets you.
No further information. Democracy leaves the Discord. We never hear from him again.
Immediately leaves the server right after giving this.
It's a reflection. Okay.
So, with that, I'll say,
It's the ultimate frisbee thing, right?
Philip, are you? Yeah, I'll definitely say at this point. So Sheriff Lester kind of like left for a bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll say at this point, you hear the sounds. You all hear the sounds of raised voices outside the home. Before any of you can really react, you hear several feet stomping on the porch, and the door whips open.
Scatter!
You all look up and you stare into the eyes of citizens of Fogwell. You all see that they are wearing kind of like navy blue sweaters with yellow letters kind of stretched across. And the yellow letters are kind of like the yellow letters stand for parent residents against trouble and terror. And across their chest they have Pratt just across their chest
Of the Chris
Mario?
variety.
And they like, it's maybe a group of like 12 individuals craning in, looking in. 3 of them turn and vomit into like on the porch as they see the viscera. Everyone else looks horrified, supremely confused that you're there. And the leader, a man in kind of like his early 40s, stares at all of you. His eyes lock onto Cole, and then he just turns back and you see the sheriff and Officer Nancy standing on the sidewalk, and he says, "What the hell? We're calling a town meeting." And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. So, thank you all for joining us. I hope everyone had a great time. The players and I are going to decompress, but before we do so, we should go through the end of session questions.
I'm sure they will be plentiful.
I'm sure they will be plentiful. Does anybody have them pulled up by chance?
I do.
Okay, dope. Run us through it.
Did we conclude the current mystery? No. Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
Nope.
Nope. Did we learn something new and important about the world? No.
The cops are kind of okay with us now.
we're in with the cops.
We're
Congratulations,
in with the cops
us.
now.
I don't know if that's a world thing.
It's the sheriff, you know.
Yeah, I got some cryptic things from Incarnanus, but I don't think that really applies right now. I feel like I only got information that I sort of already understood, and it was
Sure.
more of just like setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters? Cole's been away, but
Cole's back.
Cole's back.
Maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Cole's back. So 1 yes. So
We also learned that Arthur and Philip had intimate 6 months together.
Well, it wasn't okay.
Like no, that's it. That's canon.
Intimate
that's
doesn't
it.
mean nasty, okay?
No, you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
it just means close. They're
It just means
good
close.
friends. They were roommates, as all historians said.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Okay, so then it's 1 yes.
So one
which I-
experience.
One experience point for all of you.
One experience points.
1 experience points. Well, yeah, we're at about the 3-hour mark, and I think that's a pretty good spot to kind of call this one. Hopefully we're gonna get more of a ball rolling on the mystery itself in season 2, but I appreciate everyone who stopped by and got to see us kind of like set the scene a little bit for present day Fogwell, to see our hunters come back together and to just kind of like figure out a little bit about what's going on with them as we press forward. Yeah, with that in mind, does anybody have anything to say before we sign out?
I love you
Two
guys.
things. I have 3 things now.
Uh-oh.
I love you as well. 2, I leveled up, so I took +1 weird.
Hell yeah.
3, the Monster of the Week is releasing a new book, and they're on backer kit now.
Yes, Codex
Yeah.
of Worlds. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if
Oh,
you are
is there new
interested in
things?
that, I'm putting the link in the chat
Thank you
because
so much, Mars. Yes.
we are Monster of the Week stream, so I feel
Gosh.
like we should probably
Yeah.
mention that.
Yeah.
Does
Well,
it say
plug.
like what's the new story? Or
Yeah,
no
I'm wondering
story?
that too.
There's like they introduce like team makeups, so you can be like the Men in Black or like the
Oh,
like
that's
a
dope.
specific investigation team, and like all these kinds of like group dynamic Monster of the Week tropes as well that I think are really cool, along with
Yeah.
some more kind of like mythos of like, if you want to have gods in your thing, what does that kind of look like, and all that kind of stuff. So it's very, very cool. So yeah, definitely would recommend backing that. I have backed it, so
Yeah.
There's 28
I really
days
need
left, and
to.
they've already doubled their
literally,
goal.
yeah.
It came out today.
Yeah, I mean,
Came out today, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I know. I think I don't want to put words in other people's mouths, but Rev, who's the producer for the Crit Show, I think wrote the foreword for it or something. Like he's in it in some
cool.
capacity, and he made some comment about how it makes some of like the long form things that he's been trying to do with the Crit Show make more sense and easier in like a short form way, which I think is exciting because a lot of the people I talk to that don't particularly like Monster of the Week say that it's because it feels kind of shallow compared to a lot of other games.
Sure.
And so hopefully this makes it feel less shallow for those people who maybe feel like it is shallow. I personally don't think it's a shallow game at all, but to each their own.
For sure. I also think that I think it was tonight, but the Chris Show was doing a specific stream with Rev and also with Michael Sands, specifically for Codex
Yeah.
of Worlds, which is super
Yes.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, this is wild. Touring band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do they not have new playbooks?
Season 4.
They have like group playbooks now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't have new like individual playbooks.
Road trip against.
But I
Evil
do
as a
like the
touring band. That's
idea of
amazing.
group playbooks, to be honest with you. I think that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
No, that's sick.
Also, new setting frameworks. So, like, if you didn't want to be modern day.
Can we oops all bards? Like, can we do that? Like,
Hell yeah.
one shot oops all bards?
That would be dope. Cool. Well, anything else from anyone else? Yes, Masha.
From me. Also, I love you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the tweet.
All right.
Send
y'all.
it.
We love you very much. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you have a great rest of your week. Please be kind to yourselves. Go take walks, drink water, stare at a sunset, and have fun. Make each other laugh. Whatever you need. And we'll see you next Tuesday. VODs will be going out on Fridays now. And next Tuesday we'll be starting at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We appreciate you.
You have a
very
mountain
much.
timer now.
Well,
Yeah, fuck Mountain Time.
Yeah, like
It's
fuck
just
Mountain
it's
Time.
just Diet Central Time, and
There
I'll
we
be the
go.
first to admit it.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. But we love you very much. We hope that you had a good Valentine's Day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.